Hi, I'm Michelle Houston and welcome to Tribe by Fire. This is our first podcast. I'm very excited. What this podcast is about is that I have been blessed with so many best friends and they're incredible individuals, and I'm going to share them with you because everybody needs a really good best friend. So if you don't have your own, look at me. I'm a giver. So my first guest today is Eddie Renz. He not only works for I Teach, but he also has his own company, We Print This City. And we're going to talk more about that in a moment. But first, we're going to talk about us and why we're besties. Yay, us! And how we met and all the juice. Sizzle, not drizzle. Get ready.
Sizzle, my drizzle.
Yes. Sizzle, my drizzle.
I
guess we need to do an intro. Okay, so now we're learning, we're growing. Eddie, please tell us, how did we meet?
I actually met you through Jason Adamson.
Shout out Jason. Thank you.
What's up? And I remember asking him, I was like, how did you meet Michelle? He's like, oh, I've known her for years. She's amazing. And he said, I had this position open up at Access Bank, and I knew she was a good fit. And so we got to start working together on those projects with creative stuff. I was doing freelance web design back then for Stature Design. And we started doing projects together and became best friends almost overnight.
Yeah, when you say it like that. Yes, but it was instantaneous. It doesn't take long. For me personally, as soon as I meet somebody, I pretty much know if you're going to be a bestie or not. Yes. And he is the kindest soul. Heart bigger than, Texas. Let's use that reference since I'm a Texan. Heart bigger than Texas. And creative and kind and beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Yes, I love him. And we have trials. We didn't have trials, but we had trials with others.
Right?
And no, we didn't. We make it up, so we have something fun to talk about. But Tribe by Fire, he is definitely part of my tribe because we have been through it. All kinds of things.
Lots of fires.
Lots of fires, and it's just made us strong like titanium.
Right? I like the Sia reference.
Let's go. Oh, no, that's bad. No, that's good.
See, it's great.
Yes. No, I thought we were talking about Titanic
also. No, we're not talking about Titanic.
I was like, oh no, did I do that reference? Because it's been too much in the news.
No, titanium, not Titanic.
Yes, thank you. Oh no. Okay, we're back.
Yes, we're back. And we are today going to talk about some questions that people had put in.
Oh, you want to get right to the questions?
I want to get right to what this podcast is about.
Okay, well, the podcast is about us.
Right.
So I would like to really know more about I Teach and then Print This City. So because people need to know why my friends are the best. And I'm going to let them tell you why they're the best because it puts them on the spot and they think it's fantastic. So, which is what I typically do, put my friends all on the spot.
She loves to put people on the spot.
Yes. So, Eddie, let's start with I Teach and that incredible opportunity that came your way. Local company.
Yeah. Well, that story goes way back 20 plus years when I met Andrew Roselle through Denton Bible. I was a leader there. And, it's been, he was in 9th grade. And now he's 40 years old, I think. So, sorry, Andrew.
He's saying it out loud.
Too far. But, let's fast forward to 2011. And they needed a full-time web designer. And I say full-time. I was freelance for them full-time, though. I was their only person doing marketing and stuff like that. And so, fast forward from 2011 to 2021. And they did need somebody full-time. And so they asked me to become their senior marketing director there. And so I started becoming their full-time marketing director. And then that transpired into me a year later becoming the full-time creative director, because really that's my wheelhouse, is doing creative design web, which you also asked me about. We Print This City. We print this city.
We print this city.
On rock and roll.
Oh!
Sorry if that hurt your ears. But I used to have Denton Swag, which was a business that did prints and stuff in the city, and it was really fun doing it, but then I got busy with other projects, and other people started asking me to do other cities like Waco and Austin, and I was like, okay, let's rebrand. Let's not just do DentonSwag.com. Now we do WePrintThisCity.com.
You gotta pivot.
Gotta stay innovative. That's what I've learned in marketing. I'm also getting my MBA at UNT, and it said many companies have failed because they failed to innovate and stay relevant, and it's a lot of work having a full-time job and a side business, but it's also a lot of fun.
My friends are hustlers, though.
I'm a hustler, baby. I just want you to know.
Yes.
So.
And self-taught in the beginning.
All self-taught.
Let's talk about that.
excuse me, I got laid off from Texas Instruments in 2009.
Oh, reverse shout out.
Yeah, I was doing a business analyst position there, and I didn't like it. It wasn't really me. But people always told me, Eddie, your presentations, your PowerPoints look so good. You have the prettiest PowerPoints. And so I started doing posters for different organizations within the company and really got to start playing around with creative before I knew that I was creative. I honestly never thought I was a creative person growing up. It just wasn't something that we even cared about in my family. We were just hustlers. We had paper routes, and my parents cleaned the church, and we just were always doing something on the side.
Yes.
So getting laid off in 2009, there were no jobs out there for business analysts. And so I bought a MacBook Pro, and I had never used a Mac before, but I knew that if I wanted to be a designer that I had to have a Mac. And so I got it. And
shout out to Mac. We're just doing all these endorsements.
I know. Could you give us a...
hey, Mac, we need some Mac money.
We need some of that Mac money over here. So I just downloaded some software, and what was really crazy about that was I started telling people, oh, I can design your website, and I had no clue what I was doing.
Fake it till you make it.
I did.
Another one of my trademarks.
Took jobs and then would go, I would literally figure it out. And this is before WordPress or anything that. I was doing HTML using Dreamweaver and literally scratched this business together. And then it took me about 4 years to recoup and make the same salary I was making it at Texas Instruments, but then in another 4 years I had more than doubled that salary.
Incredible.
So, yeah.
So if you are thinking about doing something, don't let fear stop you. Just do it. Start out small or go all in, whatever you have, the flexibility to do, then just go for it. You have to live your dream.
Yes. Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like doing all that was something that I never would have done if I hadn't been forced into it. Like, I kind of got shoved out the door, and they gave me, I think, 6 weeks severance pay was all I had. So the little bit of money I had to buy even that MacBook, which at the time was $1,700, seemed like an astronomical amount of money. But I was like, that little MacBook, in 3 years, the money that thing made was hundreds of thousands of dollars, tons of hours of creation. And that was a huge investment for such a small amount.
But you're worth it. Definitely invest in yourself. You can start out small, like I said, start out small, but definitely invest in yourself. Take the classes, get the equipment, get going is the most important part.
There's so many opportunities nowadays because there's TikTok, there's YouTube, there's Etsy. You just hop on one of these platforms. If you love something, you're passionate about it, figure out a way to monetize it.
Yeah, and there's YouTube. I mean, there's tons of resources out there. And friends, you can ask friends. You can hit me up on my website because I got a lot of friends and resources, and I'd love to help you.
Yes. One of my favorite resources is Skillshare, Skillshare.com. Once again, we need a plug for that.
Skillshare, share. Emphasis on share, baby.
Yes, I love their videos because each one is broken up into little 5 to 10 minute segments. And they also create, what's unique about them is you can also monetize your own training on using Skillshare, but they want you to come up with a project. So one of the things that was Aaron Draplin was like, hey, we want you to create a circle sticker. So I created a circle sticker for Denton that has this courthouse in the middle of it. And it says like beer, community, all this stuff about Denton, crafts.
Did you start with beer?
I did start with beer.
Okay. I was like, wait, did I hear that?
Well, at the time, Denton was blowing up with Armadillo Ale Works, East Side, Oak Street, Jack House. What's up, John Williams? Another plug.
Seth, don't forget about Seth.
Exactly. So, yeah, and I love that they made you actually do something, because one of the things I hate about training is when you don't actually use it. It's like you can read a book all day long about budgeting, but you need to actually implement what you learn. Right.
Oh, don't talk to me about a bottom line. Okay, so it is Pride Month, and one of the very special things about Eddie is that he has recently come out, and it was a very special moment for the two of us, which of course then reinforces our tribe. And I just like him to share his experience with you because it's emotional and important, and you need to know because we share real things. Yeah.
I think that whenever I first started coming out, like thinking, should I come out? I was 43 years old. My whole life I'd been in the closet. I had dated women, and I realized I was unhappy. I was miserable. I had been in recovery for 6 years, like recovery group. I had gone through tons of therapy.
Wait, not drug recovery.
No, same-sex attraction recovery, so they called it.
All right. So I just need to know.
I was taught this was something you could overcome, and later I realized trying to not be gay was kind of like trying not to be 6'5" and brown. There was nothing I could do about it. This is me, and so after 6 years of every single Monday night, going to these classes, sitting in these discussions, bearing my soul, I wasn't getting any better. I was getting more and more depressed. I was less and less happy. I had a great friend named Tyler Simpson who told me, he was like, Eddie, you need to just be you. You need to be authentic. And I said, oh, that goes against all that I've been taught growing up spiritually. And he's like, no, you need to just accept that this is who you are. And it terrified me, but it was what I needed. I needed somebody in my corner. So I literally only told maybe 5 people before I came out that I was coming out, and you were one of them. So always gets me emotional. I always feel a little bit of tenderness in my heart from that moment. I remember we were sitting at Hannah's, and I told you, and you literally said, I feel nothing but joy and confidence. The way you said it was real sweet. It was like, I don't feel in my heart that this is something I need to tell you, basically, that you need to change or not do. It was all positive, positive, positive. And it meant a lot to me because that hadn't been my experience with everybody. And so I got to a point where I realized, okay, I needed to just rip off the Band-Aid. And I was in Kentucky at a retreat, and I posted on Facebook, and I have, at the time, about 2,500 friends on Facebook. Grew up here in Denton, went to Liberty Christian, went to TWU, was very active in Denton Bible in the church and youth group, and was a leader there for a long time, was on staff at Denton Bible. Not at the time, I'd already done that and had stopped that in 2011. So here it is, 2019, and I posted all this thing online on Facebook, closed my laptop, and got on the plane and couldn't change it. I couldn't undo it.
Scary leap of faith.
Yeah. Yes. So I get home 2.5 hours, 3 hours later, I open up my laptop scared to death, not knowing.
Yeah.
A lot of people in my life didn't know that I was going to come out.
A lot of people didn't know that you were even near the closet.
No.
Much less in it.
Which is surprising to me because I see videos of myself and I'm like, hey.
No, he was pretty.
Was I pretty good at hiding it?
Yes.
I definitely worked.
I still have people that are like, you and Eddie. I'm like, well, that's not going to work out.
Right? But yeah, I worked really hard at like even deepening my voice at times. I would, lower it when I talk on the phone. There was so much energy was put into that it literally stifled a lot of who I think that I could have been and who I am now. There was a lot of self-hate and self-loathing, which also caused me to be judgmental with a lot of the people in my life. And it was surprising to me how much growth happened after I came out and how fast it was.
But your confidence has skyrocketed, and your ability to love and to communicate and share with others and help heal not only yourself but help others heal, because it is traumatic to go through something like that. And obviously I can only imagine, we all have our trials. That's the thing, we all have our trials. Yeah. And I know it looks different to several people, but it's important to have these friendships and surround yourself with people that are uplifting and that love you for who you are, to be unique, to be true to yourself. That's why this podcast for me is so important, is to show what true friendship looks like. If you've got toxic people in your life, you've got to let them go kindly. Just kind of back yourself away.
Yes.
Because that you've got to be you, and God has given us all a gift to share. And if you're not being true to yourself, then it's really hard for you to share it. And we're one big family, and we're supposed to be neighbors and communities. So I am so glad that I was here to support you, and you have supported me and continue to just day by day. I mean, look at this light. He is nothing but just a big joy and has great advice. And you can always text or not. Well, you can't text. Sorry about you. Unless you're already one of my best leaders, so you can't text. But you can email me on our website. And if there's something that you'd like to share with Eddie or myself or any of my guests, definitely please email us, and we'd love to reach out to you and give you whatever support that we can.
Yeah, and that email is michelle@tribebyfire.com.
Hi, Michelle at tribe.
By fire.
By fire.
.com. That was fire.
We're gonna work on our, we're working on it.
We'll work on like the flames and all that.
I mean, 4th of July is coming.
Yeah, maybe
we're about to get inspired.
On the green screen, I'll do some fire.
We need a torch.
Out. Yeah, like a tribe
we definitely
running around behind us.
Yes, I am working on a dance.
Oh.
To be fair, so it'll take a minute, but
we're like, touch cross down, touch cross down. Touch cross down.
Somebody else gonna help me with that said dance. I can't wait. Yeah, because we need a dance. We're gonna have we have a song portion. We're gonna have a dance portion. Ellen can't have it all. Yeah. Oh, Ellen, girl, you can have it all. Yeah. But just share, right?
Well, I want to go back to what you were talking about a minute ago too. Whenever you talked about having friends that are supportive.
Yes.
Whenever I came out, I did lose a number of friends, and
a large number.
It was very, very painful at first. But then it really made room for other people in my life that were supportive and that did love me. And I have every now and then there will still be stings of pain because I miss those people. But it allowed me to have more time for people like you.
Thank you. Thank you, loser friends. Thank you.
It can be real easy to lament what you've lost. Yeah. But I think that in life, a lot of times when you lose something, it creates new space,
yes,
new growth, new beginnings, new opportunities for love.
Yes, and everybody is on a journey. So it could be some people's first experience with this. Everybody has their own record and their own set of feelings and values. And what is hard, but what everybody tells you is not to take it personally. So it's good that you just see it as a journey and you silver lining it where you have more time for friends who understand you and love you for exactly who you are. Yay! Okay, so let's answer some questions. I opened up on my Facebook yesterday. I said, hey, if you got a problem, my last name's Houston, if you didn't catch that. So Houston, here's my problem is what we're titling this segment. So I've got this bowl here. We're gonna shake it up. Okay, dive in here. We're gonna answer. Oh,
my hand's stuck. Just kidding. That's a big old question. Let's start with a small question.
We're not ready for a big question.
Am I reading or are you reading?
Oh, okay.
You read. I'll grab.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Houston, here's my problem. And this comes in from Randy. Why, in today's society, are we so enamored by tabloid media where we want to know a little bit about everything, but not a lot about one thing? We're just taking things at face value. Ooh, That's a good question.
That's a good question.
I mean, I think, of course, it's easier. We're the microwave series of generations, so we're all just like, oh, we see it and we're like, yep, got it. And I think also, more importantly, is that we're always just looking for facts that check out how we feel. Like if we believe in something and then we see an article on it, we're like, knew it. And that's all we needed to see is just some validation. And that's what I felt about that. I knew I was right. And then they just move on. And the things that they don't like, correct, then they just swipe.
Yes.
So I think it's really, people are just always searching to be right, which, I mean, I'm not mad at, but let's try and go a little deeper and get some real facts. I can't wait till I have my daughter on here, my oldest daughter. She will set everybody straight about getting to the nitty gritty and doing the research and knowing what you're talking about and opening up your mind just a little bit more. So those are my two thoughts.
I think you said it spot on. There's obviously the desire to have an echo chamber where you just hear echoing back the things that you want to hear. Like, it's basically, if you're in a room full of people that all believe the same thing, then you're never really challenged. You're not going to change your mind. And you don't have to agree on everything to respect whatever other people believe. I love chocolate, and my friend Aunt P, hi Aunt P, she hates chocolate. And so it's like we both differ in that regard. And we can have open discussions about deep stuff, hard topics, abortion, gay rights, equal rights, guns, whatever it is that you have, we should be able to have a conversation at a table and a dialogue. There's one of my favorite books, I can't remember the name of it, but it talks about moving from violence to silence. And that's oftentimes the two places that people go whenever there's a conflict. And I think it can be real easy to just stay on the surface, like you said, to listen to one station that speaks your language instead of being challenged, and to dig deep. And what is that? It's called complexity bias. And complexity bias is whenever a simple lie is preferred over a complex truth. People want to take the simple lie. They're like, oh, okay, yes, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Devin and I were just watching a video, a movie, and there was a killer, and they thought it was a murder-suicide, and the main deputy detective, he just wanted to shut and close the case. And this one guy was like, there's all these things that are saying that this was a murder. And the guy's like, no, we need to close it. And they just wanted to cover it up because it was simple.
That easy button is tempting.
It is so tempting.
But it's so great that the other character, which I'm sure is in real life, but in this movie, this character had that gut feeling and knew in his heart and in his gut that things weren't right and wanted to get to the bottom of it. So try to be that person.
Yes,
and that is the message.
I love that you said try to be that person, because that person is hard to be sometimes. When you hear somebody saying something, I was at a group night and somebody brought up the Dylan Mulvaney issue with Bud Light, and I was like, the sad thing about that is this poor girl is in the middle of this. Or this poor human, whether or not you believe this person is a boy or a girl, whatever it is, they're still a human being. They still have a soul. And you're realizing that their life is being impacted by your words and your cruelty sometimes. And so to speak against that in a group of people who are all in the same mind can be very challenging.
Ooh, okay, good question.
Deep.
I know, we can do that. That's what we gotta do. We're a roller coaster.
Yes, let's bring it back up. Next question.
Okay. Oh, this is where our dance segment should come in, right?
Should.
Yeah.
Dance it
like, okay, that was hard. Now let's line it back up.
Shake.
Oh, are we shimming?
I stayed up too. I was doing a little Taylor Swift.
I like it. It was good.
Was it good?
It was good for me. All right. Well, I feel like our time is up. Or do you think you want to squeeze in one more question?
I would say we'd squeeze in one more question.
Okay, there's no stopping us.
We can always edit some of this. We might decide to put another one of these on the floor.
Okay.
Let me just go in here.
A little. Oh, okay. You read that one.
I'll read this one. Question from Donna. Hey, Donna. What is the one thing I can do to boost confidence?
Oh. Well, you go first. You asked the question.
Ooh.
Or read the question.
I would say the one thing you can do to boost confidence, first of all, is to love yourself.
Oh, good answer.
When you love yourself, then it's real easy to stop judging others and yourself, and so you go into life with this authenticity, like, this is me, this is who I am, and it's kind of like take it or leave it. And so if you own who you are, then you just kind of like, hey, people love me this way, I'm gonna be this way. And that's my thought.
I love it. I just would like to add to that is knowing your purpose. When you know why you're on this earth, what your mission is, what you do for people, how to make this world a better place, then that really gives you a lot of conviction to go out there and be fearless and be that spiritual warrior and to send light and love to all those around you. Or maybe, that's my purpose, if that wasn't obvious that I was speaking it. But maybe you're like this fantastic brain surgeon, then get in there, know your purpose, and then just focus on that. And maybe you need to work on your bedside manner. We can always tweak things. Like I can work on being more literate. There's always things that we can improve on. But if you know what your purpose is, and if you love yourself, because you can't pour from an empty cup, you got to be full. So then know yourself, love yourself, know your purpose. And if you don't know your purpose, then let's start trying to find out what it is. Look around, see how you're affecting people positively, and go, you know what? I'm really good at that. We don't compliment ourselves enough. Yes. So look inside, look at the people that you're surrounded by, see how you positively influence them. And I think you will start to build on your confidence that way.
100% agree. There's a
I'm gonna keep you around.
And Michelle is one of those people you need in your life to help boost your confidence, because she's always positive. And I think that's important too, is having a positive community around you of people that speak truth and honesty and love into your life. But I did watch a video recently called Sketches by Dove, and it was something that had done years, like 3 or 4 years ago. It was one of their series on beauty. And it said in this marketing class I'm taking that only 4% of women in the world believe that they're beautiful.
Oh, that is too low.
Isn't that low?
Oh, I have a new purpose.
And so,
you are beautiful, men and women.
Yes.
But apparently, especially women, you are beautiful. Inside and out,
yes.
which is real important.
Yeah. And then the video, they had a sketch artist that never saw these women, and the women would describe themselves, and he would draw them, and then he would have somebody else describe them that only talked to them for a few minutes, and then he would draw them, and then he would show the two sketches side by side. And he said, look how you drew yourself, and there's like a pall of sadness in their faces. Sometimes they look depressed, sometimes they look frumpy, but then in the other pictures, they look much more content, much more happy, much more beautiful. And he said, oftentimes people see us in a lot better light than we even see ourselves. And so I love that, because it was a great perspective on being confident is sometimes loving yourself.
I agree. And one of the podcasts that I saw, no, it wasn't a podcast, I agree. I apologize. Something that my best friend Shelly said was that it's kind of a fake it till you make it, where if you don't feel like you're positive or beautiful, let's use beautiful for an example. If you don't feel like you're beautiful, just wake up and start telling yourself you're beautiful. Start acting like you're beautiful. Start feeling like you're beautiful. And if you do that enough, when you do that enough, you will truly start to believe that you're beautiful, because you are.
Yeah.
You are.
And if there's things about yourself that you don't feel confident about, I, in 2019, weighed almost 400 pounds, and I knew that it was time to make a big change, so I did weight loss surgery. I really wanted to grow a beard, and this is an inside secret, but for years I couldn't grow a beard, so I started doing all this research, and I found this website that told you to put Rogaine on your face. This beard was non-existent, and I started able to grow it because I put Rogaine on my face twice a day.
That's a pro tip.
For a year.
That's for free, ladies and gentlemen.
There were men on there, y'all, that had baby face skin and had grown beards much thicker than even mine.
Oh.
So you can do things externally to fix yourself, but that's only going to be a small impact if the inside is still broken. And so I think sometimes it's a two-parter. But don't feel bad about going in. If you don't feel confident about your smile and you want to get your teeth fixed, then go.
It's called self-improvement.
Self-improvement. And it really...
Within reason, everything in moderation, people.
Right, don't get crazy.
Please don't get crazy. Okay. We don't need any cement in our butts.
Whoa, definitely not.
You know about that, right?
I've not
People
heard about
were
cement.
Injecting cement in their bowline so that they had a kadonk.
Well, I've heard of a lead butt.
Yeah, well, they were limited resources.
Yeah. Whew.
Okay.
That's desperation.
On that note, maybe we wrap it up.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay, well, Eddie, I just want to thank you so much for being my first podcast guest. Woo! And if you are loving the Try by Fire logo, website, this guy right here, he's the one that designed it, and I adore him, and he completes me. And text us, email us,
and don't forget to like and subscribe.
Oh, shoot.
This is my first time to do one of these videos, but whenever I watch them, they always click that like button.
Oh, please like us. Yes. Shout out. I do have a sponsor, so shout out to Kevin with Apple Jacks. Thank you so much for being my very first sponsor. Yay, you!
We love Kevin.
We do.
Kevin.
And so
and
thank
we love
you.
liquor.
Oh,
we do love Apple Jacks liquor.
Within moderation,
yes.
just a touch. So thank you, Kevin. And there are some available spots if you want to be a sponsor. We could really use your support and love, and we're just going to grow and make this world a better place together in community. Love always. Try by fire.
Try by fire.
Woo, high five.
Out.
Oh.
Bye.
Bye.